Hi, I'm Bob, head referee for the Gulf Coast Robotics League.
And I'm Sid, head referee for the Space Coast League.
First, we're going to talk about how the setup of the field is going to look like. This will be how the field's going to be set up when you come to the field with your robot, with the wobble goals where they're at and the rings where they're at on the starter stack, and the ones that you're going to preload will be back here behind the wall facing the audience. Then in this time, Sid's going to show you how you can set your robot up in a legal configuration.
The robot's going to be placed in the start line. That means that some part of the robot has to be in the start line and touching the back wall. It may possess up to 3 rings. The wobble goal has to touch the robot or possess it completely.
After everything is set up and the legal configurations have been confirmed by the referees, we'll do a randomization, do that. And what that'll do is 2 different things. First will be the stack here. We'll either have 0, 1, or 4, depending on what it is, and then that will correspond to the target zones. 0 corresponds to A, 1 corresponds to B, and 4 corresponds to C, which is where you're going to try to place the wobble goals during autonomous if you'd like to get that score. Then any rings that, if they're not stacked here in the starter stack or not preloaded on robots, will be put into the low part of the goal. They do not score any points.
The hero player is going to pick up the stack that just came through after randomization and place it on the floor. Ready for the match.
There are 4 tasks that you can accomplish in autonomous. First one is to score rings into the tower goal. Second is to take the wobble goal and put it into one of the target zones. The other one is to hit the power shot goals. And the other one is to park upon the launch line to do that. First task you can do is score rings into the tower goals. There's the high, medium, and low goal. The low goal can be scored anywhere on the field. The medium and the high robot has to be completely in the launch zone. Please note that the colors are different, that the high and the low are for the red alliance and the middle is for the blue. It's opposite on the other side, so pay attention to where you're going to do that. If you're not in the launch zone, you will incur a penalty for scoring. You'll score the ring, but you'll get a penalty for being not in the launch zone when you do that. One of the other tasks is to be able to knock down the power shot targets like this. I remind you that you have to be in the launch zone to do that, because again, you will score the power shot target scoring event, but you'll get a penalty for not being in the launch zone. One of the other autonomous tasks is delivery of the wobble goal into the target zones. Depending upon where the starter stack is after randomization, you're either going to put in target zone A, B, or C. The wobble goal has to be completely in, meaning it's got to be within the boundary of the outer part of the tape to count for this achievement. Something like this would be considered not completely in and therefore not scored, as would a situation like this. In addition to scoring points during time on the wobble goal, there are 2 other benefits. One is that a wobble goal inside the target zone is protected from interference from the opposing alliance during the driver control period, and it also has the wobble goal starting in a legal position to be eligible for the wobble goal delivery into the drop zone task during endgame. One of the other tasks is to be able for the robot itself to navigate to be in the launch line to do that. Again, it just has to be in, it does not have to be touching, just has to break the plane of the launch line to count. Another point is to remember is that the rings that are on the starter stack can also be used to score into the tower goal or to shoot the power shot targets. However, they will be subjected to the possession rules of having no more than 3 rings possessed by a robot at any time.
Oh, that's illegal.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Also, the human player cannot introduce any of the rings back into the field until the start of the driver control period. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the uniqueness of the autonomous period, things you shouldn't be able to do or you'll get penalized. One is you cannot interfere with the opposing alliance's starter stack. Do that. You also cannot interfere with the other team's scoring during autonomous as well. Other thing is when you preload the goal rings, you can't put them on the wobble goal. To do that, that's only in endgame can you put those on.
We're now transitioning from the autonomous to the driver control period, when the human player is allowed to expected to reset the power shot targets and return the rings to the playing field as quickly as practical. The focus of the driver control period is to score in the tower goal. the low, mid, and high. Robots can drive up to the tower goal to score in the low, but have to be in the loading zone, launch zone, to score in the mid and high. The robots that are scoring in the low goal by the tower goal have to be mindful of goaltending and cannot block rings that are launched about 18 inches.
Then as we transition into the endgame period of the driver control period, in addition to being able to score rings into the tower goal as we did during the driver control, there's 3 endgame achievements. First is to be able to shoot the power shot targets like we did during autonomous. Second is to put rings onto the wobble goals. And then if a wobble goal is not in the launch zone or in a target zone, it can be then delivered over the wall facing the audience into the drop zone and score points that way. One other thing to note that's unique for this year is each of the elements is scored in a slightly different manner. There's some that are scored as they happen, some that are scored at the end of the period, the end of the sound, or some of them are when the elements come to rest.
Gracious professionalism can be hard to define, but it's essential to talk about and think about with your team and in your community.
The ideals of gracious professionalism tie education to success.
According to Woody Flowers, one of the main strengths of gracious professionalism is its dual modality.
Gracious is mostly about feelings, both yours and those of others.
Professionalism is mostly about knowledge and its application for good.
Combining the two is important.
So learn everything you can and experience helping others as often as you can.
Being an effective contributor is a huge part of feeling good about yourself.
Rational self-esteem is a big deal, and it is a likely outcome from practicing gracious professionalism while busting your chops in first.
So go forward and represent the best of yourself in first.
"2020 has been a year like no other. We have been faced with an enormous challenge in the form of attempting to compete in a season with the novel coronavirus looming over our shoulders. This poses the question, how does a team build a robot while following social distancing guidelines? Challenge is a part of FTC. This is the fact that very few will be tested, and with fair reason. Every season, teams must organize, design, plan, and execute perfectly, both as individuals and as a single unit. This year, however, teams across the world have been posed with an entirely new and unplanned challenge, known to most as COVID-19. The international pandemic has brought about the necessity of social distancing, and while speech and debate or band programs can continue with relatively small change, a robotics team, inherently physical by nature, must take drastic adaptations. 9110 has been around for a long time, and we've clashed against all kinds of challenge from all places. Thanks to our members, though, we are adaptable. We have thrived in seasons where we're dealt good hands and endured through seasons with bad ones, but in all have persisted. We have wits, we have teamwork, and we have a drive to succeed. These have carried us to success multiple times before. This year, we hope, will be no different. Using what we have, we've devised a plan that tells how we will design, build, and polish our robot without posing a threat to any of our members. Following kickoff, we will have a period of pure designing, where ideas will be proposed, fleshed out, and finalized entirely via CAD. You have to prototype individually and share ideas over the internet. Once all members of the team agree that the robot's design is finished, and when parts are obtained, the robot's design will be split into a number of systems and subsystems, which will each be built by one person. The mechanical lead will build the drivetrain. The robot will then be incrementally built in a chain-like manner. The existing robot will be passed on to the builder of the next subsystem, who will attach it and pass it on. All transfers will be handled carefully, with masks, distancing, and sanitizing before and after. The robot will be kept in a dry and well-ventilated place for attaching and testing, until passed on where the cycle will be repeated. This is an obstacle unlike any other that many FIRST teams have faced before, but 9110 is sure that, following the spirit of FIRST as a program to spark innovation, cooperation, and determination, We can overcome any barrier we may encounter. Everyone from Team 9110 wishes all of their fellow FTC teams a successful season and hopes that all of them stay safe.
To me, gracious professionalism is about helping everyone to perform their best. One of my favorite memories is the time I zip-tied my opponent's robot back together in one of the last qualifier matches of our league championship.
Gracious professionalism is knowing that even though we compete with or against other teams, we will always be friends and cheer each other on.
To me, gracious professionalism is where everybody who's at the table can be valued for their own individual set of skills.
To me, gracious professionalism means being positive and respectful to everyone, no matter the situation.
Gracious professionalism is working in collaboration with your fellow competitors, ensuring that no matter who ends up getting first place, everyone walks away feeling supported and having learned something.
Gracious professionalism to me means working with a diverse group of individuals from different backgrounds and cultures to innovate and create a big, caring society.
Gracious professionalism is about more than gaining technical skills and competing. It's about being a good team member, a good volunteer, and a good person.
Gracious professionalism means being true to myself and others by respecting and supporting everyone, no matter what side of the field they are on, in competition and in life.
Gracious professionalism is the foundation from which a massive tech community like FIRST is built upon. All of the creativity and teamwork and inspiration for kids to build the future starts with all of us nurturing an environment of respect and acceptance.
And cut. Well, this last season didn't go exactly as planned. The abrupt end only left more questions for this upcoming one. Like, how are we going to meet? How are we going to work on the robot? What happens if one of us gets COVID? How are we going to have outreach events? How are we going to fund our team? Will there even be a competition this year? But most importantly, will our experience in FTC be the same? When one door closes, a new one opens, with many more opportunities to innovate and overcome our challenges this season. Since large gatherings are prohibited, we've shifted as much as possible to online mediums in order to reduce the potential spread of COVID-19. From team to parent meetings, robot to outreach meetings, online calls have given us a way to communicate without being in person, especially for a large team like ours. We compile all of our meetings into Google Calendar for our team members to see upcoming team meetings, outreach events and activities, and other events that are being planned for in the future. In addition, we use Slack to give progress updates on projects and the robot and have some fun while doing so. You might be wondering where building and testing the robot come into focus. In order to prioritize the health and safety of our members over robots, we created a website for our team members to schedule what day and time they would like to meet. This is extremely important since it lets us do two things. One, this helps us limit the number of people in the meeting space at a given time. And two, it helps us group the students who attend in-person school and online school to separate meeting days and times. When anyone enters our meeting space, hand sanitizer, safety goggles, gloves, and masks are required before getting to any of the exciting stuff. In order to physically distance ourselves while working, each person takes a corner of the field to reduce interaction between members. We also have a computer in the room for kids who are not able to come to participate virtually. With all of this, our FTC experience will not just be the same, but even better. On behalf of 18172 Uplift Robotics, welcome to the ultimate goal season and good luck to your teams.
For centuries, sports have played an integral part of our culture. Moving, collaborating, competing, celebrating. We rally around our athletes, lift them up, and admire their awe-inspiring moments and stories that give us hope. The nature of traditional sports is shifting, and we have the power to be forces for change and redefine the game. No matter whether our talents lie on the court, in the lab, or with the controller in hand, there's an athlete inside each and every one of us. Let's work together to champion every sport and every person that plays the game. It's time for us to revolutionize the way we play and move. It's time to be game changers.
Hi everyone, AJ here with a tip for First Tech Challenge teams. Many of you are working through your first remote matches. Hopefully, if you have access to the internet in the area where you're running those matches, then you're using the FTC scoring software to score those matches live. If you don't have access to the internet and you're using paper score sheets, there is a match timer available to you right in the Driver Station app. To get to it, you'll just have to change the Driver Station app into landscape mode. To do that, go to the menu and tap Settings. Look for Driver Station Layout and choose Landscape Mode. Then swipe close the app and reopen it. When you do, you'll see the match timer in the top left corner. Tap the small play button and it'll give you the option of starting the timer in any point in the match's progression. If you start it right at the beginning, it'll give you a 3-2-1 countdown before it starts the time. All of the other sounds that you hear are exactly the same as what you would get from the scoring system. Whether you're practicing or doing one of your official matches using paper score sheets, check out the match timer, built right in to the Driver Station app.
Alumni means that I have an entire world of connections.
It allows me to volunteer and give back to the community.
I think FIRST can really prepare you to solve any number of the world's big problems. The skills that you're going to be learning can completely change the future.
Merritt Island Matrix, what can I say? A referee with a shirt and cheerleaders and mascots. I mean, it's like I was at an event. So welcome to our second event, and this is our first official meet. And I can't thank everybody enough, especially the teams that submitted videos that we're going to walk through here in a few minutes. The other thing I want to say is Merry Christmas to all of my First Tech Challenge talent out there listening in tonight. Before we get started, just one quick announcement, because I have gotten a few emails about Dean's List submission. Because normally around mid-December and mid-January is our deadline for submissions. But this year, if you recall, our league meets and our league championship are all being pushed back. So our league championships have not been set and finalized yet. So they're probably going to be late March or early April, which means the Dean's List submission deadline is not going to be until February 15th or March 15th. And I will send out an email once we finalize that and make that announcement to all of you. So if you were wondering when your deadline for submitting Dean's List, you got a few more months yet before you have to do that. So again, thanks for everybody for being here. And thank you again for all the teams that submitted videos. And really, I thank you both, AJ and I thank you a lot, because that's one of the things we enjoy most about going to FTC events, is watching all the wonderful designs and fantastic robots. So the other thing, just as a suggestion for next time, we love all of the full match videos, but we're also open to any other creative ideas that you might have, such as zooming in on, a very interesting design aspect of your robot and talking about how you came up with the idea. Again, any ideas you have, please go ahead and submit those. So again, I don't want to take up too much time. We're going to get into the rankings from our first meet here and walk through. But the other thing I want to let you know is that the duo is back. The best game announcing pair in the country is here. If you recall, last time we had Andrew here all by himself, and guess what? Barry felt that Andrew was a little lonely. And so Barry is here to join, and we'll have the same pair that we've had at the state championship for I don't know how many years, more years than I can count. But more importantly, the best part about this, here it is, the best part, is since this is a virtual remote online event, Barry cannot do what? What is it? The roller coaster. But, and that's the thing I'm looking forward to most about tonight, is listening to Barry, but he can't do the roller coaster. But before we do that, let's go to Bob and Sid, who have got some observations about some of the matches that they saw.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How you doing tonight? Good, how you doing?
Good evening. Before I forget, Merry Christmas. Just intentionally, my setup is to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah. So anyway, I also enjoyed looking at all your videos. A lot of cool things went on, a lot of good action, a lot of different teams doing different things. So really a lot of good work. All you referees that got pressed into and scorekeepers that got pressed into it did a pretty good job overall. I liked a lot of things, especially there was one where someone was sitting in a chair and raising their arms, depending high or low or medium, depending on which goal was going in, the tower goal. Saw somebody being old-fashioned using paper score sheets too, so kudos to you. I did see a few things that are there, and again, none of these are all suggestions and just things that we saw that you might want to watch the next time you run a few events in your matches that'll help you score more efficiently and be following the rules a little more exactly to do that. Again, if your team is doing this, don't sweat it. It's first time we're all learning, and do that. Just some things to look out for when you run your next matches. One of the things is to remember when you're human players introducing the rings into the field to wait until the teleop period starts. Again, it's not the transition time between autonomous and teleop. You got to wait till teleop sound. You get the 3, 2, 1, go, but to do that, right, Sid, to make sure before you start doing the rings back into the field. On that.
Yes, and remember that you don't have to, the human player doesn't have to wait for the robot to show up and then start introducing the rings and field. You can do it continuously, and you're expected to. You do not push a order. I mean, I understand remote events with just one team, but eventually, when the gates open, when we're all back in person, then you have to change this mindset as to you have to continuously, you cannot hold those uh, rings. There are penalties associated with that, so get into the practice of just delivering those rings as you get them.
Okay. Another one is make sure when you're using an autonomous, you have the deposit of the wobble goal into the target zone. The wobble goes completely in the target zone. It's got to be inside the plane in the target zone so it scores. I saw a few people that dropped them outside. I don't know if they were scored as such, but if you were doing that, make sure you're doing that, particularly to do that. I think the other thing related to wobble goals is the wobble goals have to either be in the target zone or in the launch zone or out of the launch zone prior to endgame to start to be scored. I saw a few teams kind of lining them up and do that and make sure that, like I said, out of the launch zone or the target zone before endgame starts. You can hold on to them in that period, in that time period, in those areas, but you can't cross out, or they will not be eligible to be scored for the drop zone scoring achievement for the wobble goals in the endgame. I did see several teams doing that, but again, first thing we're doing and like that. Let's see, a couple other things. Oh, also launching the rings, make sure you're completely in the launch zone. I saw a few teams that kind of had to fold the robot a little bit over. Again, not a big deal, wasn't a huge competitive advantage, but again, you want to do that because as we get to in-person events, you can do that. I don't know, was there anything else you saw when you were watching those that you'd like to pass on to the teams that you might want to be thinking about when they run their next matches?
I was inspired and I was so amazed at all the teams going in, and not to take away anything, infractions and things like that. I was really inspired that we are truly unstoppable. No matter COVID, no COVID, first is really, this is great. This is great to see everyone up in there, like taking up this challenge. It's great sight to see everyone doing that. Do things happen, we do some infractions, it's okay, move on. If we do not score properly, that's okay. We have a few more events to catch up, so don't fret it. That's my message.
And type your questions into the chat, and we'll be answering throughout the program this evening, and we'll get a chance to do that.
If no, that was an amazing opener.
You're muted, I think, still, Barry.
Still muted?
That was me doing. That was me doing my Bob impression. Sorry about the
That
audio
was
problems,
a heck of an opener for Bob and Sid.
Yeah.
Oh man,
we're already messaging Bob to tell him to get some new headphones in the next 25 minutes. But so Bob and Sid were giving us some thoughts about things that they were seeing, that there was problems with matches they saw called wrong. Maybe we'll get them to record a message and we'll upload it again later, so you can make sure you check out those things. Submit your questions in the chat. We've got some people monitoring it to see what you guys are asking, and we're going to have Bob and Sid come back later and we'll do a Q&A with them to go over those questions.
and we'll have them. Oh, hi, Marissa. We'll have them check. We'll have them check the audio first. If nothing else, we'll have Sid. And by the way, I love Sid's dedication to the safety glasses.
Right?
It's a virtual event. There is nothing flying in your eyes, Sid. There is nothing that's going to come through the screen. You're safe. It's a fashion statement at this point.
I don't know what his house is like, but my house is probably. I mean, I have a cat, and sometimes, I don't know.
We've all been photobombed by this. But that's not about us. This is about you. This is a celebration of you guys and your robots and all the achievements. You guys have been building the robots, and instead of having a live event like we normally have where we all get together and run the robots on the field, you guys have been at home doing time trials and trying to get the best score that you can and submitting them. So this show is about you guys, and let's take a look at some of the best scores that we've got. We're going to start off with One Clay County.
Okay, league.
In
Clay County.
One Clay County League rankings. All right, so we know that there are more than 2 teams in One Clay County. The teams just recently got approval for to continue with their season, and there's going to be many more teams that are joining. So far we got 2 teams that are in, with the LH Gator Techs getting their 473 points in so far. So
yeah, I mean that's a pretty solid score that you'll see. We're going to go league by league. But yeah, I mean, good start for the season for that team. But remember, the way the ranking works is you take your top 10 matches through the entire season is what gives you your ultimate ranking going into states. So,
ultimate.
Oh.
That's your ultimate goal.
Is that the game? Yeah, look
that
at that.
might be right there in the title.
Oh,
Sponsored
yeah.
by Star Wars. You know, I am excited.
Forces for change.
Force for change. You might not be able to keep me from, doing a roller coaster, but you can't stop me from my puns, man.
I didn't even mean to do a pun, and I did apparently. But the top, so your top 10 matches through the season, those scores are this year. It's different. It's cumulative, so they all get added up. So it's not a big deal if you missed the first meet. I mean, obviously you want to play as many matches as you can, so you can make sure you get as many high scores as you can. But yeah, those teams in One Clay aren't out by any means from getting in the state.
We'll stay up there in the northern part of Florida, and we'll move just a little bit west to the Northeast League. Let's check some of those out.
So Northeast Florida, this is, all right, so we've got team 18205, the Beach Boys.
This is a robot that I like a lot because they have made a mission. They are going to score in the low goal. They got the zip tie intake, and Andrew, you and I have made many zip tie intakes.
Is that zip ties or is it bungee rubber bands?
I think they're zip ties. They could be either. We might not be showing it right here, but there are multiple times where they had the zip tie intake running, and they run the ring into the wall and pick it up that way, and that's a very honest way to pick up any scoring object.
So if you guys remember last time, I was watching it on a 1970s TV channel. This time we got a big screen, and Barry pre-watched everything, so he knows what's going on. All right, so autonomous mode, 8317, the Mechanical Mermaids. Nice autonomous score there.
Got the wobbles. They
throw it
on the side. Yep. Very similar robot. This instead of using zip ties, they're using the AndyMark compliance wheels to pick them up.
So Robo Panthers here looks like they've got a Mecanum drive that they start sideways rather than forward. So it looks like they're in a good position that they'd be able to. They moved it off the platform. Yep. And I don't exactly remember what position goes with 0 rings, but I'm just going to assume they got it right.
That's a good assumption. I don't think we'd be showing the highlight reel if they didn't.
Yep.
All right, and they go for the middle, and they can get the end game. Love this. We'd love to be able to see. Oh, watch it again. Instant replay. Is it gonna go in? Is it Wembley's wobble? But they don't fall down.
Wubba zubba wub wub.
Next up, the Crazy Cat Ladies.
My favorite team name in the state still. Sorry.
And man, this is another one of those robots. Oh, this
what a cool
intake.
Mechanism.
It is. I want to see this closer. Crazy Cat Ladies, please
yeah,
give us video of how this thing works. What is going on here?
We've got the digital Mike Walker zoom action, which only gives us a clue, but enhance. Zoom it in hand. It doesn't work like that. I don't care what Hollywood says, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it looks like a neat little like cam mechanism pulling on a little finger to pull it in. That's pretty innovative.
Check it.
It's looking that's pretty cool. Crazy Cat Ladies. I think we've seen them at states the
we
last
have
2 years.
They get better and better each year, and this robot looks like their best one yet. And of course, Gigi was one of our Dean's List finalists last year from Crazy Cat Ladies.
Yeah, so a good team all around there. Crazy Cat Ladies. I think they're from Jacksonville, right? Something like that.
Yes,
Anyways,
yes, they are.
Northeast Florida. That's
Northeast,
where they're from.
yep.
That's what we're talking about.
All right. Next, we're ready to show the high-scoring robot from the north. No. Going for rankings. Well, yes, I'm still correct.
See,
all right.
If you leave the show flow up, we'll know.
Well, I know, but I've got award information and stuff on my screen.
So we had 12 teams submit scores, going up to the top, and who's going to be number 1? Oh, it wasn't Crazy Cat
It wasn't.
Lady, it was
Swamp Bots. Crazy Cat Ladies came in at number 2, and we have some video here of that Swamp Bots. So let's go right to it.
So here we go, autonomous mode. Oh yeah. So one of the things you might notice here is their field perimeter is pretty cool. You see they just used like some PVC pipe and some, probably 1/4-inch plywood. That's a pretty inexpensive material. And I'm sure that entire perimeter actually breaks down pretty small. One of the things I hope you notice, and one of the things we notice, is all the different ways teams have built their field perimeters. You don't have to have an Andy Mark perimeter all you really need is the wobble goal in the ring. So nice scoring there. If you want to see more detailed on the rankings, those are actually published on the First website now. I think, are we moving that over to flfirst.org, Hans, also?
Yes.
Okay, so they'll be up on flfirst.org, a little easier to navigate than First Inspires.
Congratulations to the Swamp Bots.
The Swamp Bots right now ranked number 1 in their league.
Consistently good. Last year they were the Inspire Award winners from their league, and they also were the first pick and won the Northeast League Championship last year.
And they've won it a few years since that league's formed. I think they've been one of the top teams up there. Yeah. And didn't they have a Dean's List one year too? No, that was different. Anyways.
Yeah, they have. They have in the past.
There
yes,
you go.
they
See,
have. They've had
you
to.
Proud of me? He's in charge of Dean's List.
They have.
All I ever do is see that video that he edits, and then I help him do it, and then I go, Barry, I'm tired of editing video.
Oh, man. All right. So, man, I am just so excited about this game. And by the way, isn't this one of the coolest games that the game design committee's come up with?
I think this is... I'm super excited to see this game play in person. You can see those shooters are like really cool. I mean, we saw that FRC game however many years ago that was shooting frisbees, and it was super fun to watch.
Ultimate Ascent, very similar to Ultimate Goal. We like our ultimate with our frisbees, don't it? Flying discs need the word ultimate in it.
It's impressive to me how good the game pieces are flying. I like when frisbees first came out, we were like, oh wow, those flew really well, and it surprised us. But they're frisbees, like that's what they do.
We didn't know when first time we saw them. We didn't know how to pick one of those up off the ground. They were a flat disc. We hadn't to that point had a flat disc before.
I remember, yeah.
So it was go watch the first Robot in 3 Days video that was ever made.
We didn't pick it up off the ground, but
no, but
we shot them.
We did.
I took one in the wrist and it hurt.
Oh man, well I'm so excited about this that I decided to get myself a pet Ewok.
Oh, where do you have to build a treehouse or something for an Ewok? Where do you keep an Ewok? Does you put it in a cage? What do you do?
No, I don't keep it outside. Ewoks are indoor pets.
Mike Walker with the drive time radio hour sound effects board.
I think we're ready to move on to the Robot League. Let's go west.
West. Wagons west.
Here we go. Turkey Creek FTC 17262.
So you can notice this team doesn't have the tiles, a bunch of boxes and some Tupperware and stuff laid out, but it works as a field pretty nice. So this is Robot League, right?
Yes. Yes, okay. Robot League.
So a nice simple scoop-a-loop and a dumper. Oh, I got a hand sanitizer bottle there. I like that.
That's a good field perimeter, very sanitary field perimeter. Right. I mean, wobbling onto the outside there.
And that mechanism works on a real field. There's no question that arm can get over, a solid wall. He kind of had to plow into it to get through there, but seeing it lift other things higher, it's going to work. So I love when you see a really simple design like that performs well. I mean, I remember many years at league championships where we would see the bot with with the single gripper, and just very quietly in the corner they'll score and score and score and score very slowly but surely. Meanwhile, you have these high flying teams that are doing all this stuff.
Right. That team clearly they had the parts. They had Tetrix.
Yep,
so their design challenge became, what can we use with Tetrix? A lot of time a design challenge is, what machines do we have? What can we build? What can we engineer? What can we design? And other teams' design challenges, this is what we have. How do we make it work with what we have?
Right, work within your resources, yeah.
So, excellent example of how doing that. All right, moving on. Let's go check out the scores for the Robot League rankings.
League. Everyone's favorite acronym. So it looks like we had 8 teams submit from
Turkey
The
Creek
West
came in
Coast.
there at number 6, Infinity Gear. Team Duct Tape,
Oh, yeah.
strong name year after year.
At number 1,
At the top,
Neutrinos.
Neutrinos back on top.
World champion from what, like 4 years ago? They won world championship.
Yeah, and they also were the winning alliance captain of the Robot League last year.
Oh, perfect.
So back
I
on
mean,
top.
Neutrinos have been around for a while. You can tell by that low team number. Very well organized team. Been around for a long time. No surprise that they're doing really well. Duct Tape also a consistent. Like Gearolith, new team name to me. I don't know if the number someone knew. And Wicked Gears with that high team number. That's also probably a pretty young team, so doing very well.
Yeah, yeah. We were used to seeing Duct Tape and Neutrinos on there. In fact,
the one thing I noticed is Neutrinos' high score match is 3 times the next rank.
Right.
It's pretty tightly packed below them.
and they were the winning alliance captain last year, so that's kind of what you would
Right.
expect. They were the top team that came out of this championship last year. They were the number 1 pick. They went and won the state championship, and here they are consistently doing better. And same thing with Duct Tape. They're just a little bit
And
down from
do
that,
we have a
but
video
they
of
were
them?
in the finalists.
Do we have a video from them?
Don't have their
Neutrinos.
Yeah, Neutrinos. We want to know what you got, Neutrinos. We
You guys
are
always
dying to
like,
see it, man.
You guys are like an Inspire level team, right? So you got to inspire everyone else by showing us what your robot does. So come on, I know you guys have iPhones.
Not
and stuff.
to call anyone out. Not doing that. However, we want to celebrate
team in
your
orange
success.
and
Same thing with our
green.
finalist alliance last year. Team Duct Tape was in the finalists last year of the
That's
state
right.
championship. We couldn't get our video submitted on time, but you can see it on our YouTube channel.
Thank you, Duct Tape.
All right, thank you, Duct Tape. If you want to put a link there in the comments, if
Yes.
you're allowed to do that, please. We're dying to see those robots. Great
And
job
yeah,
to you guys.
I mean, and you guys don't have to edit things up. Like, we don't need that, as you see. We're literally just taking clips. So if you just get raw footage right out of your phone, throw it up on YouTube and put the link into the submission.
And we just want to, even mechanisms, we don't have to see the full match. We just show us how
Right.
your robot works. Show
Yeah.
us up close video. A lot of teams, like we mentioned before, the Crazy Cat ladies with their cool little mechanism. We saw the match, we saw it scoring. I want to see a close-up video of that mechanism.
Like Hans said earlier, like, for a lot of people, the best part is seeing it perform on the field and then going and looking at it, putting your head down in the robot and looking at it in the pits.
Absolutely.
And I mean, right? You look at that team that we just saw that had just that simple scoop arm. They might have never seen what an FTC robot really could look like or do, and so these other teams who have been around for many years, you can put up your videos, and we want to show what you guys can do and what's possible, really. Yeah, so don't worry about editing. Don't worry about putting your logos over it. Don't put music over it. Any of that. Especially don't put music over it, because if you have music over it, we definitely have to mute it. But
Well, we're going to put some over it anyway. Don't go too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the things I love about these competitions, seeing a robot perform on the field and then being wowed by something, and
Right.
wanting to go into the pits, stick my head in that robot and ask the students questions and seeing it.
Hans has a thought, I think.
I have a very important announcement to make, and that is that everybody's really impressed with Barry's beard.
Oh, Barry's beard.
Barry's beard.
It
Hashtag
was my November beard, now my Santa Claus, Barry Bonza Claus here.
Barry Bonza Claus. I forgot about that. I was a little disappointed you didn't bring the whole costume.
I've got, this
I didn't have a
this is fun.
Hanukkah costume,
Yeah,
so
Barry Bonza Claus and
I wasn't going to
Andrew
dress up as a
Rudolph,
dreidel. I'm a dreidel spinner.
I can't think of any characters that start with Rudolph.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry. No,
None.
I can't think of any.
Nope.
Nothing I can do with that name. I'm sorry.
All
Yeah,
right.
So I miss sticking my head in the robots, and I miss the dance parties. Man,
Yeah.
the dance party. You can't do that anymore. This is the first time you and I have been in the same room since February.
First time we've ever seen each other.
First time.
And not danced.
And yeah. I was just gonna say it's been the first time we haven't. George, it's Cotton Eye Joe.
I don't know the Cotton Eye Joe.
Where do you come from? It's easy. It's forward, forward, back, back, kick forward, up, kick forward, back, step to the right, you clap, and then you spin. Go ahead and do it again. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Cotton
I'm
Eye
so
Joe.
happy that we can't afford to pay for Cotton Eye Joe. I don't know what you just kicked over there. Something went boom.
I think next we're going to be heading over to the Gulf Coast. Mike, what
For everyone who wanted Cotton Eye Joe, there it was.
You got it.
Cotton
you got
Eye
it.
Berry.
Check.
All right,
Check.
where we go? Gulf Coast League?
Gulf Coast League.
Oh, please, let's move on from the dancing.
I did say no roller coaster, but I did forgot to mention.
No roller coaster. Yeah.
Panda. Oh, Gears of Fire. All right, so we got the Pandas scoring wibbly wobblies, and we got Gears of Fire.
Oh, that's
going
autonomous.
high.
Wow.
Ooh,
So that was.
Yeah.
And wow, I mean, Gears of Fire is a consistently competitive team across at the state championship.
Absolutely. We got both of those teams. 506 was the Inspire Award winners. Gears of Fire, second place Inspire Award winners out of the league.
And then Java the Huts here, a younger team. Nice little end game, scoop a loop, drop the wobble. Oh, they're going to go for the double maybe? Yeah, I mean, I see 5 seconds left on the timer. I love seeing that in the back. That makes 13 seconds left. Plenty of time to get the double wobble. We got to come.
Leading up to Gulf Coast League Meet 1, we had to set our priorities and maximize our point per work efficiency. We started off by designing many of our own custom parts through the use of our in-house CNC machine. This allowed us to make both strong and complex parts out of metal and wood. These allowed us to form crucial parts for our robot, such as the wobble go arm. This accelerated our machining process and allowed us to easily convert CAD files to part cutouts. The primary functions of our current design rely heavily on the wobble go arm, in which combining autonomous and teleop can earn us a maximum of 75 points. This was crucial to our success in the first meet, since our shooting is still being constructed. By using these new resources, we were able to perfect our wobble go arm and achieve a successful first meet.
So that's a great example of some really nice content that helps everyone out. You know, and they talked about, you know, hey, we didn't have our shooter working, but we had our gripper working for doing wobble goals, so we're still able to score. But we know we're going to be ready for the next event with having our shooter going.
They've got a plan. They're working it together.
Yeah, and it shows, you know, you don't have to be crazy, you know, 9,000 points off of the first meet. I mean,
and many of these teams are focusing on it. This is meet number one. This is just meet number one, and this is what we see consistently year after year. A team chooses a goal, chooses one aspect of the game, and says we're going to accomplish that aspect of the game by meet one. And then there are a couple of teams that say we're going to accomplish two aspects of the game by meet one, and those are some of the ones that we showed earlier, where they not only pick up the wobble and place it outside, but they also can pick up from the floor and score in the lowest goal. That would be like the team's next step for all the teams that are out there that are only scoring wobbles. Next step for you, figure out how to pick up from the ground and place into the
and hopefully they've got some kind of plan. I mean, the nice part about FTC is you're constantly able to evolve your robot through the season, and it's just meet one. Like I said earlier, it's your top 10 matches. I mean, I think right now we have 4 meets scheduled, so if you think about the way the math works, really your last 2 could be your best 2, and that's how you get ranked into the state. But you still want to obviously do the best you can right off the bat. But yeah,
for a lot of teams, building anything right
now.
Oh
yeah, get something moving.
Getting something moving. That is an achievement. They made a goal. They accomplished the goal. Check the box. They got a plan to do better next time, and that's awesome.
So let's see the rankings.
Rankings
from I don't remember
Gulf
what
Coast.
league we're in anymore.
Gulf Coast League.
Where are we? Orlando, Florida. And
all right,
here we go.
13 teams have submitted scores. Pandora there, so far 195. Scores. We are now in the 300s.
See, there you go, Java the Hutt.
Gears of Fire was almost made it to 500.
1, Fierce Fish.
Fierce Fish.
I assume that's got to be one of our what's that school that has?
Charlotte?
Port Charlotte, yeah. They always have the fish names.
Yes.
Can you put that back up, Mike?
Yeah, let's keep looking at it. Boombots. No, we can. That's fine. Boombots.
Fast forward.
Boombots did fantastic last year and fantastic the year before that. If you remember, they went undefeated at the last Houston Championship. We didn't have one last year, but the championship before that, Boombots are still holding on to their undefeated at Houston.
Technically still world champions.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so looking at the ranks, I mean, you see Java the Huts, who we were just talking about, right? Like, super simple robot. All it can do is score those wobble goals. But there you go. They're 5th place in arguably one of the more competitive, leagues in the state. So, I mean, they're looking pretty good right now. So Boombots, we talked about them. They're usually really impressive. They sent a video, but they're not showing what their robot does, so we want to see what your robot does. We know you're scoring.
Charlotte Surge last year, 73-21 was on the winning alliance at the Gulf Coast League Championship.
There you go.
So they're right back up there at the top once again. But God, we We're dying to see these robots.
Yeah,
high scores just make us go, we want to see.
We want to see the mechanisms, and it's not just we, Barry and I. Like, we've seen enough robots really in the end, right? Like, it's okay. But really, all the teams out there that want to need to see these things and get inspired by them to figure out how to make something better, to improve their game and learn how to build something new. Like, there's a lot of people out there who don't know how you make a shooter that changes angles or something like that to score in the different goals, and there's some solutions out there. It'd be super awesome for these high scoring teams to share what they're doing, so other teams can learn from it. So, all right. So what's next, Barry? Where are we? Okay.
We're going to the Arrow Coast next. Going up to the Panhandle.
Arrow Coast.
All right. Short circuits up first.
Autonomous mode. Nice. Putting it home in that first position. Line up again, another nice cardboard box. Oh, I love their power shot goal. How it's just like the pieces of paper. That's super cool.
They were the Think Award winners last year.
Oh, nice. So, clearly a Galactic Squirrel.
Galactic Squirrel's up next.
Lining up.
Oh, boing. There we go. Got one high, got one middle.
That thing's got some kick. Oh, slow-mo. Boom! Double
Knocking it down, both of them.
I have no idea how that works in scoring, if it counts, if it doesn't actually touch it, but it probably does count. But that's for the Bob and Sid show or the Sid and Bob show, depending on what part of the intro you watched. So that's cool. I love their rake. You see that? So they don't have to be. So one of the things when I mentored teams is I would always talk about trying to maximize your end effector zone. Like, don't make it that the driver has to line up a 1.5-inch gripper on a 1-inch wide pipe. So they made, a 6-inch wide thing with a bunch of teeth so the drivers can just hit it and move.
Yeah.
And that makes, especially when you're playing under defense, once we get to that point, not having to be inch perfect makes things go a lot faster. And I'd imagine
and just to save time. I mean, you got two of those things. You got 30 seconds for an end game.
Exactly.
If you can save a couple of seconds for having to line up and you could get it here or you could get it here. That means you have a much higher probability of getting both of them. And that explains why they're the design award winners from last year's
there you go.
Gulf Coast League Championship.
All right, so let's look at the rankings from the Gulf Coast League. Arrow Coast
League.
Too many coasts, I guess.
We got a lot of coasts in Florida.
9 robots.
Let's see
so we did talk about Sting bots there. They're showing 5. They only submitted 1, and you see the 6 and 6 on total matches admitted or submitted. It automatically populates all 6 that it's saying you're submitted 6. With the way the rankings work this year, with it being the cumulative score, it doesn't really matter if you've only really played 1 match. So looking up at the ranks, so Tech Turtles up there in the #1 position. Okay, I guess we're moving to the video. It's Auto Magic.
Okay, Radical Raiders was the best robot that submitted video, so we don't know about Tech Turtles, but Radical Raiders last year were the Inspire Award winners, so let's see what they've got. So far, they've already scored 1 up high.
Super clean looking robot. Oh, power shot over
nice, and autonomous.
This is endgame.
This is endgame. Okay, so it's behind the camera. Endgame.
Yep.
Oh, so close.
Going for it with the gripper. There they go. Nicely done. Simple, single act. Oh, and they're gone. And Magic. I think we know what happened there. It's not Magic.
They're going for the next one.
The arm levered over and dropped. I wonder if that's Lego. It sure looks like Lego. Doesn't it look like the little Technics pieces?
You need some close-up pictures of that.
I mean, it used to be you had to use Lego. Remember that? So.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Tech Turtles, we didn't get any video from them, but it'd be awesome.
They were in the winning alliance last year. Circuit Squirrels and Tech Turtles were the alliance team last year that
win the league.
Win the league championship. So they're both teams back at the top in the rankings once again.
Very exciting to see. Competitive, solid high score as well relative to the rest of the state. Arrow Coast, they've had a tough couple of years, and so it's pretty awesome to see them doing well.
Hurricanes and absolutely.
All right.
So next we're going to South Florida.
Oh, my old stomping grounds.
Macadam Wheels. Is this the year for Macadam Wheels? Because there's not a lot of defense happening.
Yeah, I mean, if I was, not necessarily, but I could see where, one of my biggest arguments always against a Macadam drive is you're going to get pushed around, or you could get pushed around. So yeah, when you have no defense, why not give your drivers the most maneuverability they can in the simplest packaging?
Pyrites here were design award winners from the South Florida League Championship last year.
So nice autonomous mode there. They were able to. Oh, this is okay.
Oh, watch
on
this.
the rewind.
Trick shots.
Double shot. Clack clack.
Trick shots in slow-mo. Check it out.
Nice.
Now that is interesting. Could you do this intentionally? Do you think they can do it again? They did it again! They did it not once, but twice. Two different parts of the video.
One of the things you might notice from a design standpoint is they have a single wheel shooter, so it takes a little bit wider, but it's given that disc. Oh, I thought it went into the goal. I was like, how is that even possible? Give us a tight shot. I know, it's all good.
So that was Spam's rookie team. So Spam is a strong name here in Florida for many years.
Let's do the flashback, Barry. Remember the first?
They had FTC teams
the very first,
in the early days.
FVC.
FVC 180.
Remember?
Yeah.
When Barry was a ref.
Yep.
I was a DJ.
Yeah. They were one of the first 7 teams in the state of Florida.
And I know that they took a break for a while. And
hockey puck.
Yes.
Here. Yeah.
Actually, no. That was it. The hockey pucks that year. That was the big Atlas ball that they would. I think that's how they won it. They were pushing it out of the field or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been the Vex. Yes.
Yeah, it was FVC year. It was the first year we had it state championship. They were there at Lake Highland here in Orlando. But yeah, I remember Spam doing really well in that, and it's great to see them coming back and clearly having a pretty awesome. I didn't when you said can they do it twice? I'm like, no, they can't do it.
No,
twice,
they can't. They did it twice. The benefits of watching the show before you come on.
The magic of video.
The magic of playback. So,
no, they really did. They really did it twice. That wasn't just a instant replay. Those were two separate events where they did that.
Oh my God!
Exactly. I mean, we showed replay of the same thing, but then they did it again.
Yes. That's awesome.
Let's see some rankings.
This is why this show is so cool. We would have never seen that if it just happened at a regular league event that we weren't at. So here we go. 16 teams submitted. Going from the bottom, you see yourself say hi. Wiredcats Gen 3, the Wiredcat teams, we always know them do so well. Greased Lightning doing well. And
Greased Lightning.
B3, I don't know who B3 is, but Barry's got a big list because, I mean, clearly they're doing well with a total ranking point of over 1,000. That's
Rising Ninjas would love to see that robot again. Let's see, Greased Lightning, 3rd place for the Inspire Award last year. And oh man, I know Rising Ninjas. Yes, they were the Lawrence Division finalists last year.
Okay, so doing really well at States.
Yep, did very well at States. Good to see.
But yeah, I
back
mean,
on top. B3 though, that's a.
I mean,
unless they changed it.
I don't know that team number. 12731. All right, so we're gonna look at. Here we go. The Broward Bulldog bots. Autonomous mode. Very clean driving there. Nice. Again, I'm going to assume that it was the right position. 2 out of 3 in the high goal. Like super solid. Yeah. And the pickup, are they going to shoot it in auto?
Again, another mechanic wheel drive and using the...
They hit the power shot. Wow.
In auto.
That was awesome. Yeah, excellent. I don't know if you can hear it, but Hans... that was a round of applause. I mean... Autonomous is exciting in a lot of these games. I mean, and some of these games, it's make or break, and like there's a lot of points to be had in autonomous. So if you can have a 100-point autonomous or whatever it's going to be, that's a big game once you get on bot versus bot matches. So
all right, so everyone needs to commit it to memory now. The name B3, the Bulldogs,
B3.
They are in the hunt now.
And someone can correct us, and maybe someone from B3 can tell us if you're a new team or where you came from. I mean,
it's a 12 number, but yeah, great looking.
Barry and I have been around for a long time, but there's a lot of teams out there, so we don't remember them all. So
yeah,
sorry.
I've got a lot of information in front of me, but they were not in the not one of the winning Alliance teams last year. I guess I can say that one.
So where are we going? What's next?
Next, we're going to Tesla next, Central Florida.
All right, 9277 Hazmat.
Hazmat Explosives. Hazmat has 2 different teams.
Okay.
This is the explosive team, like I'm trying to
the
figure
rip duct tape.
Yeah. Is it wood?
Power shot scoring. Okay, so this is the other right, Biohazard.
Yeah, so I
like that they have 2 completely different robots. You know, sometimes teams fall into the.
And by the way, both of them were the winning Alliance captain or winning Alliance of the Tesla League last year.
Oh!
Look at that! Wait, back up! What just happened?
What?
That should be bonus points.
Right? I
ask Bob and Sid.
Bob and Sid, can we award them? Can we have like a kudos thing that we can give teams that do cool stuff with the power shot goal?
Florida trick shots.
Florida trick shots.
100-point bonus.
100-point bonus.
100-point bonus.
Insta win.
That's the.
By the
It's
way,
not.
Bob
We
and Sid
have
been grinning this whole time.
We have. By the way, we have no way to add any extra points to.
They don't give us that authority. We just calls them as we sees them. That's our entire job of every year, and that's it.
It's funny because the power shot when we did the kickoff and we get the field right and we didn't have the rules and we were building it up. We were all like, oh my gosh, you have to score on this thing. Like, how hard is that going to be? And then like we saw the power shot, so what it really was, and we were like, B3 won Control Award last year.
Thank you.
Nice.
I was trying to scroll down to find that. It wasn't at the top of my screen.
Broward's like 4 hours from here. Okay, it's really far.
I don't have that excuse. I travel everywhere. I know I've seen them.
I'm sure, yeah.
I might not have been at their league championship last year. I was at a different one.
But yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Make any tricks on the Dab Award.
Dab Award!
I'm not.
Too late, I already did it.
Where are we? Okay. Rankings. Okay.
Yes. Rankings for
Sorry.
the Tesla League.
Tesla. So we had 8 teams submit on that. Going up from the bottom. Here we go.
All right.
Clockwork Mania. Love those guys. Ducks in a row. Don't know that team. That's okay.
The other has
Robo Knights.
Robo Knights, team 9930.
Team that's been around for a while. We've seen them do decently well. I don't think they are like a super.
They've done very well. Let's see. I've got it here. I'm trying to find what award. I see them here. Highest ranked team, not previously advanced. I know they didn't win one of the awards last year, but they do.
They were the highest ranked team
Yeah.
that didn't advance off an award. So like they were right there at state championships last year. And yeah, I mean I remember seeing them. They're one of those teams that's always on that cusp of doing amazing. What? Oh, okay. We got a video of them. Got it. Here we go. Thank you. Mike was trying to communicate through hand signals. So different, again, look at a half field barrier thing. So this is autonomous.
3 high.
Interesting trajectory on those discs, the way they kind of wobbled. So that's cool. And nice. Yeah. Cool. I guess the rest of the match, they just shoot and score and maybe score a wobble goal at the end.
Yeah.
And you know, you can find all these teams' videos. I believe they most of them put them on their YouTube channel. So if you want to see them, you can just go online, find their YouTube channels. I don't know if the video submission is public like it used to be.
It is.
It is. Okay.
Quick,
so if you go to flfirst.org, you can find those videos.
Quick.
George, it's time to buckle your seatbelt.
I always do.
It's time for the Orlando Regional Roller Coaster.
So Hans said that you didn't say no roller coaster. You said I couldn't do a roller coaster. And my response is, not with that attitude, you can't. You ready? You ready? Here we go, Andrew. We're on the Florida roller coaster. We're rolling back. How far can this chair lean back? That's it. That's as far. And you're going down the hill. You're making a right turn. You're making a left turn. You're making a right turn. A loop-de-loop. Is this how this works?
Oh, yeah.
We got. I don't think some roller coasters do that. You're making a left turn.
You cocked me.
As I was saying, the Robo Knights there helped me out.
I approve Hans's rule of no roller coaster.
The Robo Knights helped me out. They helped with some COVID response. In fact, there were 9 teams across the state of Florida, 10 different counties, helped create PPE this year. Lockheed Martin donated the 3D printer filament. They're one of the teams that we gave 3D printer filament to and made the 3D printed visors and delivered them to Orlando Health. Them and some of the other teams in the Tesla League and multiple others. So all the teams that.
And there was more than 9 teams that were making stuff.
But those are the ones that
you worked with.
I worked with. The Lockheed Martin gave 3D printer filament. But to all the teams this year that helped with COVID relief, making masks, doing God, goodness sakes, there was a team.
I mean, I had a whole hour presentation I did on it. You can go watch it on our Facebook channel.
For first teams?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Back in what? May?
Goodness.
Sometime this year?
Yeah, well,
that's
that's
a long time ago.
This-
When we did the workshop.
I feel like we all
It was
just
like
kind
the
of waking
second
up
episode.
and
Yeah.
yeah, we're all just kind of waking up from like 2020, just going, is it December? How long have I been inside?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness!
It's March 430th or whatever.
All right,
Okay.
next up we got the Space Coast
Oh,
League.
here we go. Space Coast League. I think this
Space
is the
Coast
last
league. This
league,
is,
right?
Yeah.
So
Zip ties
Zip
from
ties.
Oviedo.
There you go. Oh, power shot and auto, nice.
Oh, right between, yeah, there
And
we
a
go.
mid goal shot, and I'm gonna assume they're gonna.
Here comes their wobble.
Wobble de wobble.
Wobble, wobbledy woo.
Oh, it's on the side. Cool.
Ooh.
Oh, that comes down hard.
Thump.
The power slam. Oh, they're going for the pickup. Okay,
We
so
are now
we're
in
not
teleop.
an
There you go,
autonomous.
there you
group.
go. All right, team 7477 Super 7 in the World Championship.
Okay, so this is autonomous mode right now.
Yep. Are they going to go for the dub?
I'm going to assume it's a double
wobble?
because my
double
title
wobble?
is double wobble wobble.
Double wobble? Double wobble wobble dub dub?
Wubba dubba
Can
dub
they do it?
dub.
Double
I mean,
wobble!
Let's be honest, Super 7 consistently since they've started has been one of the most solid autonomous scorers in the state.
Oh, they're not done either.
No.
1, 2, up high.
They're a team that came from Lego League, doing really well in Lego League, and which is all autonomous. So here we go.
42-27 Metamorphosis, the Inspire Award winners from the Space Coast League last year.
I like the dancing. I love when we have a little bit of energy like we're at an event. So Metamorphosis, autonomous mode. Lining up, nicely done. Another single wheel shooter. Ooh.
Oh,
I mean, it's sped up and fast
forward. This is their sister team.
Yeah.
I see 42-27 in the bottom left corner, but the robot says 47-17.
Yeah, you're right, Barry.
So Inspire Award second place was there as well. Sister team.
Okay, I like the use of Christmas decoration for. I think this is someone's front patio or back patio.
We're gonna get like 100 pets.
Is 78 plus 10 more is 88 points. Good job.
They're done. I love it.
Team Excalibur.
I love it.
Oh, this is what I miss.
I know.
This is what I miss.
I
From
miss a team like
events.
Excalibur who we don't know, getting super amped up, and then walking out of the room.
They built a robot. But it might have been their first time ever building anything.
Absolutely,
they had a
yeah.
goal, they achieved it, and that is the result that you
Absolutely.
see kids being just excited that it worked and they got a score. They scored points and they're thrilled about it.
I mean, Barry, you remember the first robot that your team built?
It was awful.
Yeah.
It didn't score a single point. It never moved in the corner. If we had
I
scored
thought it like drove forward and just fell over.
like a couple of
Okay.
feet. It never left the corner of the field. So that team's already doing better than I did when I was in high school. It looked like many of them were not even high school yet.
Right.
But that, man, do you ever see a kid that excited when you tell them you got a good score on a worksheet or a test? That excited?
I got excited when I got an A for coloring inside the
But
lines.
that excited? I don't know, man.
It was hard.
I
worked really hard
First
on-
does something that no other
No, it's true.
class can replicate.
Absolutely.
That type of inspiration that happens right there. That we love that enthusiasm.
Yeah,
I
we
miss
definitely
that.
missed that from the events.
Yes.
All right, so
let's see
rankings
some
now.
Rankings.
Here we go, Space Coast
Space
League.
Coast rankings.
Probably my favorite league, I'm just going to say.
A little biased.
I'm a little biased.
All right, we've already broken
13.
300s now.
1300.
300, 400s, the 400s. Oh, Andrew.
Mike broke it.
Too much power. The score is too high. Highest score. Oh. 63-23, the pink team.
It's so funny. I've already seen it before. Mike's overcome himself. All right, pink team. So this is the high score in the state.
We are looking quite possibly
Autonomous mode.
one of the top 3 scores of the entire First Tech Challenge. Just enjoy this video.
Yeah. So you see autonomous, they did a wobble goal, but they missed 2 out of the 3 high goal shots. So we're going to actually run, I believe we're running the whole match unedited here. Again, it was the highest score that we had a video of, and it was the highest score in the state. So.
Picking up their pink controllers with their pink cords. They are dedicated to this team.
And,
All right, so
human
the
player
question-
putting a lot of
question
energy
here.
in.
they got a wobble.
Mm-hmm.
They scored one up high.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like an overpowering
No,
score.
I mean,
so let's see, how
Yeah.
do they do it? How do they get that high of a score? You get to see the entire match here, but what is the difference?
So
there's
Buchanan
three
wheels.
more.
I mean, I could right off the bat. You can see that they can really pick those discs up off the floor super effectively. I mean, it's the Hoover maneuver. It just grabs them and goes.
And then the consistency of the shooter itself. There's no one go in, then the next one misses, the next one goes in, and there's not a whole lot of wait time revving up that engine.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the drivers have practiced a lot.
That is the big key difference.
I mean, the only way you learn how to drive a first robot is by driving a first robot, and clearly they've been driving this, or they might be, you know, second or third year drivers from other years, but super consistent. I mean, this team in the last 3 years has been a contender at states on the competition side and some of the awards.
3 more. You're at
You
hit
can
nail
kinda
on the
see the
head. This
timer
is
in the
driver practice. This is dedication
I mean, it's a great
time on the
mechanism.
sticks.
I
Line
mean-
it up, fire. Line it up, fire. A very
Yeah, I mean, but
consistent
like,
pick.
so Pink Team has had solid mechanical robots for, I think, the last 3 or 4 years.
They're the winning Alliance captain last year. They've had just crazy
And the year
designs.
before, I think they were second place or something like that. So, yeah.
They were the Connect Award winners last year as well.
Okay, so now I guess we were in autonomous power shot.
Power shot.
Hit 2.
2 of them.
Going to pick up.
Yep, we were in the end game here, by the way, in case
In
you haven't
position.
noticed. There you go, all 3 power shots.
Okay, and
going
then
for the wobble.
We got the wobble. Nice, simple. You know, you can see a lot of simple mechanism out there for the wobble. Go
Boom,
nicely
done. Didn't take much time at all.
So they don't have
more
they
time.
didn't-
Going for more.
So you can see the other wobble goal fell over. So they don't have some way to write that wobble goal.
But they got a couple of
They got a
last second
couple
shots.
more
They had
last second
time
shots,
there.
yeah.
Their device was quick enough to pick it up, drop it, and have time left over to pick up a couple more rings and score them up high before time ran out.
And what was the score on that, Mike?
270.
270 something.
270, 271.
Wow. Okay. I think we have a slide later on about that, right?
Yeah, I think it was higher than that. It had to have been higher than that.
No, I was going to see what was next.
The top 12, if I can find the button.
I did a segue without knowing it, and then Mike's got a new toy, and it's been really awesome. But he also programmed too many buttons on it apparently, and now he can't find. We have a slide of like the top scores. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
So Pink Team right there, 271, and Super 7 also Space Coast League with 180 points. So Neutrinos and Beats is 180.
Tie for second place there.
Yeah,
in 3 different leagues, tied for second place.
Absolutely. Fierce Fish there, 174, just eking out Boombots. So Fierce Fish and Charlotte Surge, those are both the same league.
Boombots is the Robot League.
Yep.
Nope, that's also same league.
That's
yep, all
same.
3 are the okay, all right, yep. So basically we go Space Coast, Robot League, South Florida League.
Right. And Rising Ninjas is South Florida, I believe.
Florida.
Tech
Then,
Turtles, I
there you
think,
go,
was
that's
South Florida.
No, that is the north. Is that Aero Coast?
Northeast.
Northeast.
We're trying, guys.
Yep.
So
we know it's north. We know that is far north of us.
So clearly the Pink Team is doing well, and we do know. So one of the things that people in FTC has been talking about for a long time is, wouldn't it be so awesome if all the scores were in a central database? Well, this year with everyone doing remote events, it is in a central database, and Kyle, the webmaster for Florida First, is able to get some information from First, and I believe that Pink Team was the 3rd highest score in the world. I believe second was a team from Australia, and first was a team stateside somewhere. It wasn't gluten-free, I'll say that, because I didn't see their name on the list. But that doesn't mean they haven't had an event. They've had an event yet.
Right. There's lots of, at the point, for what we know right now, Florida's doing awesome. So you guys are kicking it. You guys are just doing great. Keep it up. Next, Air Coast. Yep, got it. Called it. Thank you. Yeah, keep it up. I'm looking forward to see what they have next. Because that was, just meet 1. That was just
meet one. And we're going to see more of that information. And I think we're supposed to talk to Hans now, so I don't know if Barry, you want to take your...
Go to probably Bob and Sid first.
All right, let's talk to Bob and Sid.
Bob and Sid. Do we got a video about Bob and Sid?
No, I'm going to talk to them while you give your microphone to We had questions going in. Hold on, we gotta turn our volume up in here.
You're good.
I can't hear him. Here I am. Look at Mike Walker with the camera work. Hello, boys. I can't hear them.
Really impressed with some
There
of
we
the
go. Now
shooting
I
going
can
on.
hear
I
you.
wish we had 4 bots with flying saucers going on. Oh man, amazing. It'll be fantastic once we get on the field in person. I can hardly wait to see these things.
Yeah, isn't it, I guess you guys hadn't seen those videos before. Well, I guess you watched some of them because you talked about earlier.
I somehow missed, I chose randomly, and I missed the one which did the double shot, the slick shot. This is something I'm going to take back to people that I've communicated with regularly and see if we can get something exciting along those lines. I had this idea about it because at a certain angle you can have all three ricochet off each other. And there was a question, I think, along the same lines that if you get a power shot with a ring, whether it's 1 or 2, they're still count. But if it hits the frame, then it's not. It should be a penalty.
So like that one where it hit the one and the other one, like the whole frame wobbled and it fell. Would that count?
The score will count. The power shot target's score will count, but there'll be an.
So if it just hit the frame, it wouldn't count. But since it actually hit a power shot baton or whatever you want to call it,
This season, the difference is because it's considered an offsetting penalty. So the scorer will simply score the power shot target, right? But it's going to be offset by the penalty.
So if you hit
even if it hits the frame.
So it hits the frame. So, but if it just hits the baton or whatever, the actual stick, and the other one goes, that's okay.
No.
No. Okay.
It can only hit.
So the disc actually has to hit the batons.
Correct.
So that one that hit one and bounced over and hit the other, that's okay. The one that hit it made the whole thing wobble, and the other one fell, not okay.
That's right.
Cool. So I think we had.
The 2 power shots would score, but the one would have a penalty.
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay. No, sorry.
All right,
well,
so
the one where it hit the frame, the 2 would be scored, and it would be a penalty for the second one. All right, this question is, do wobble goals have to be in the launch zone before the end of the game? No, they cannot be in the launch zone. They have to be out of the launch zone or in a target zone at the start of endgame to be eligible. If they're in the launch zone at the end game, at the start of endgame, they will not be able to be scored in endgame.
So yeah, so the answer is yes, they have to be moved out of the launch zone.
The only exception is if they're in the target zone A, which is the first one, which
right, it has
comes
that
into
little...
the launch zone. They're in the target zone, so that's why it is either or.
Okay, so I hope that answers your questions. That was pretty straightforward. That was the only question we had, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was the only question that was submitted.
There's another one, Andrew?
Do you guys know of another one? Huh? That we were tracking, and that was the only one that we tracked.
I saw one that said asked if the wobble goal had to be at the beginning of the start line to start the match. Yes, the second one does. One needs to be touching or in the robot, and the second one needs to be at the start, at the beginning of the other start line to start the. So.
Right. So the first goal has to be touching your robot. The second one is sitting on that line where the other robot would be starting if you had a second robot.
Okay, looks like there's another question about rings. There's a clarification. Are human players allowed to store rings and only drop rings at certain times, or are they required to drop them immediately? The ruling says they're supposed to put them back into the field as quick as humanly possible and not hoard them. In a remote event, it's not as big a deal, but when you get to a traditional event, you need to make sure the rings get put back so all robots will have equal access to them. So I would get into the habit of putting them in as soon as you physically can and making sure you return them via the return rack when you do that.
Right. So, I mean, in the situation of, you know, your virtual events at home, you're only hurting yourself if you're hoarding them, really, right? Because you need to get them back on the field so you can score them. When it comes to the, you know, bot versus bot matches, you've got, you know, again, you got to just recycle them into the field immediately. As soon as they come in, you're supposed to be putting them back in the field. I think we've got another question coming up here. What teams should do if they recognize an honest mistake in their judging after the score has submitted? Yeah, we actually had an email about this earlier. Basically, let's say you submit it, it's locked in, and then you realize, oh, I clicked the button for 2 wobble goals, but we only scored 1 wobble goal, or it happened after and they clicked the button. What's the process of fixing a problem?
So basically, we'll treat it as, you know, basically once scores are submitted, you know, during a live match, if the match is, you know, if the meet isn't over, we could go back and make a correction to do that if we noticed it and did it. But technically, since we're watching a video and referees are not allowed to review videos to make any corrections, judgments, or whatever, I would just use it as a learning experience. You know, maybe you put something together and post it out so other teams and said, hey, you know, I noticed that I did this incorrectly. And just note it to be an improvement for your next time you run. That's the way, you know, it works with the referees. We watch matches, teams come up and do cool things in new ways, and we just try to do it. So, you know, I'm not sure if I don't know if there's a really good.
Yeah, Hans was just.
Or not, but, you know,
Hans was just saying he's going to check and see. Sorry, Hans just said he's going to check and see with First if there's a tool in there that we can go back and edit it. Because I know that as, you know, a league commissioner for Space Coast League, we got a question from one of the teams that knew like immediately they misscored something and they wanted to get it fixed. So Hans said he's going to look into it. I'd imagine Hans will send out an email about how to deal with that. I had a team notice just that it was a league admin. I was able to edit the score for them. Okay, so there you go. As admins, we can score. I haven't been in there, so.
But again, that's going to be just up until,
you're muted.
You know,
You have to untap your mute. See how it's red? Tap it again. There you go. Okay, Hans is here with me.
Yeah, so the league admins can do it just up until the event is over. Once the event is over and the scores are submitted, there's really not a way to modify a mistake. Again, the way to think about it is just like if we were in a physical event, right, where you'd go protest to the referee in a certain period of time, the referee could fix it. But once the event is over, we never go back and change scores once the event is over.
So the long and the short of it is email your league leadership and they can edit it. Just make sure you email them immediately. Cool. Is there any other questions, Mike? No? Bob and Sid, you have any more final thoughts or anything else? Mike's only one hand, 2 hands.
Just keep enjoy your holidays. Come back full spirit. Go full blast.
Okay, well, and we'll buy a USB microphone for Bob for next show. Maybe a cell phone to tether to. I don't know what the problem is, but we'll work on it. So thank you guys. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you next month. All right, so we're back. So Hans?
I was quite impressed with the quality of the robots for the first meet. You know, if you think about first meets, even in physical events, usually not every element can be scored, but I think we pretty much saw every potential thing that can happen in
and
those
more
matches.
I mean, I never would have guessed that you can get a double shot on the power shot with a single shot going.
That was, and then of course the ring on the power shot had to be one of my favorite. And actually my all-time favorite video was the team, I think it's in the Robot League, that had boxes, and they're all different size boxes, field
Yeah, the one with the hand sanitizer jug behind the barrier.
Right. It just showed all the great creativity of the teams to do what they had to do to compete. So I mean, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed watching all of those events and matches. So.
And I really hope that we can get more teams, especially the top level teams, to submit videos. You know, we can see the robots working, and also like seeing these tight shots of the mechanisms. And you know, we've got an email address. If you have questions about the show, or you have something you want to submit that you missed, videos at flfirst.org. You can get a hold of us. But I mean, you can also upload whatever videos you need to into the system on the website. So like if you do have a video of just showing like a tight shot, thank you, a video of a tight shot of like, you know, like we were talking about the crazy cat ladies with that clearly unique shooting mechanism. Like it'd be fun to see and share that with the rest of the state so everyone can see what they're doing. But I mean, all in all, I mean, we really appreciate the videos. I know I've seen a lot of cool stuff that I learned, and I'm sure a lot of you at home agree that it's been pretty impressive.
And we had 82 teams across all of the leagues, you know, able to submit scores. So that's about half of the teams. And that's pretty good given, you know, the constraints. I know a lot of teams have struggled because of the restrictions at school. You know,
or you
especially
look at like
if
one
your
clay,
mentor,
right? Yeah.
if your mentor isn't associated with the school, they often can't even come on campus,
True,
right?
yeah.
So, you know, it's very impressive what's been accomplished.
I mean, you figure 82 teams is like, you know, more than a lot of regions have, period, on a good year.
Yes,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, we were at 82 teams, what, 6 years ago, we were at 82 teams.
Yep.
So I mean, just to have that be half is still really impressive.
Right. Great participation, and again, can't say enough about all the teams that submitted the videos. And to your point, the videos don't have to be just the matches. You know, whatever you want to show, and because we will also keep the videos up and available for people to go. So we showed you clips tonight, except for, of course, the highest scoring match from
Pink Team.
Pink Team. You know, we showed just clips, but if you want to see the full videos, again, I'll send out an email to all the teams with where that link is. All those videos will be out there and accessible from our website until the next meet.
And you know, just also grain of salt. Remember, we're all volunteers who are doing this show. So, you know, we start editing and working on this show on Monday night when everything closes, and we actually start a little before that. Actually, Sunday night we meet and start.
It kept going until
Mike,
6 o'clock today.
And Mike kept working. Yeah, I mean, and so we try to put in as much content as we get, but we can't put everything in. I mean, if you send us something on Wednesday night, it's going to be really hard for us to get it in the show. So try to get things in. Again, when it comes to like your match videos, you know, it doesn't have to be edited. It doesn't have to have titles on it. You know, and also make sure that your videos aren't private, because we had a couple teams that put video links up, but they were private or unlisted, and we couldn't actually view them and download them. So make sure you get your settings right on YouTube when you do that. But if you have problems, you know, email Hans or Kyle, webmaster, I think is his email address.
Yep.
But and we have the videos out, and we all talk. We can help you guys work through stuff, because again, the whole point of this is to share and have everyone see what everyone else is doing and get excited and stay excited about FTC this season, because this is a truly cool game. So.
And there's no critique of the scoring, right? So, you know, we're not looking at the videos to see if there were rule violations to change your scores. That's not a part of the process. The video submission is just a sharing mechanism for this event. My last comment for tonight again is, if you've got other ideas of what we should cover in the next show, my primary goal for the next show, I apologize, but my primary goal would be to get Andrew and Barry to not talk so much, okay? So focus more on the robots.
He punched me, Hans.
No, it was a lot of fun working with these guys, and I really appreciate everybody's help on
and
putting
we eat
this together.
tacos, so I mean.
Yeah, yeah. And if you want to participate,
Who put a bag of rubber bands next to Barry?
So thanks again. And any other closing comments that we need to make tonight?
I think that's it.
I think the last thing would be, next event is in January.
Yep, January.
I believe it's the 11th through 17th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 11th through 17th, so that means the next show will be January 21st.
Right, so that's your next thing to gear up for, teams, is be ready to run your robots again in January.
Have a safe holiday, eat too much food, have some fun, and we'll see you then.
I know you've all gained COVID fat, and now it's time for you to gain holiday fat.
Holiday fat, and then robot fat, because you're eating too much fast food.
Outstanding. Thanks again.
Oh, we're still picture in picture. That's fun. Okay. Are we muted?